Hello, very good morning to all of you. Myself, Professor Navigator Mirza from Maulana Mukhtar Emergency Technical Campus. So we are running the unit number 2 of your fluid mechanics. Today, inshallah, we finish. Yes, yesterday we have started the application of Bernoulli's equation to measure the flow rate, to measure the velocity of flow. So yesterday we have seen the one measuring device that is based on the Bernoulli's equation, that is venturimeter. Okay, that will measure the flow rate of the fluid. Today we will see the orifice meter, without tube and rotometer. They use both two. They will measure the velocity, okay, and these two they are measure the discharge. Okay, generally these two are measuring the discharge of flow, and these two will measure the velocity of flow. Okay, and there are other also they are measuring the discharge nozzle meter. You can see on the textbook or the reference book that is available. So yesterday we have derived the equation for the discharge for the venturimeter. Now see in the venturimeter their construction, and there are three parts to the convergent, cylindrical and the divergent cone. In detail we have discussed how to decide how to diameter of the throat and length of the throat. Also the convergent and divergent cone, their length and inclination also we have given. And we also seen at the end that the actual flow is less than the theoretical flow. So therefore there is some coefficient of discharge that is called CD, and CD is ranging from 0.95 to 0.99. Value of CD is generally ranging from 0.95 to 0.99. This already you discussed yesterday. Okay, the venturimeter we have discussed yesterday. Okay, so now in detail we have yesterday discussed about the venturimeter. Now we'll see the another these uh, measuring devices that are uh, orifice meter, without tube, and the rotometer also we will discuss today. And then your unit number 2 will be complete today, and we'll try to solve some example on the venturimeter. Okay, and your unit number 2 will this week, inshallah, we will finish. Okay. And every day asking the student to remain on time, but there is always delay. We should avoid such type of delay. So this already about the venturimeter we have seen discussed. Now we will see about the your orifice meter. So this, using the continuity equation or principle of the section 1 and 2, uh, we are derived the equation for the discharge for the venturimeter. Okay. Now we will see today the construction of orifice meter. Okay. So you can see this figure. This figure is nothing but the orifice meter. This is your pipe. I will draw. You can also draw this section. This is your pipe. Okay. This is your pipe. Your pipe is like this, and there are orifice plate inside this pipe, inserted into the pipe. I will draw the orifice plate with different colors so that you can understand that. So this is your orifice plate having a hole which are restricting the flow. This is the orifice plate. Okay, so to draw on your notebook, and you can see the diameter of orifice plate is same as the diameter of pipe or maybe your large, and there is small opening into the plate. So this one is the orifice plate. One is the orifice plate. Okay. So previously you have seen the venturimeter. Their figure is somewhat you have drawn yesterday. This is the venturimeter. Okay. There are three sections: convergence, cylindrical throat, and divergent pole. But in case of orifice meter, we are just inserting one plate into the pipe. So this is the another flow measuring device. This is another flow measuring device uh, which is used for measurement of flow, measurement of flow, or measurement of discharge. You can say. Okay. There is two section here. Also, we will consider section 1.1 and 2.2 as we have considered in the venturimeter. Okay. So before uh, your this pipe flow at section 1.1, and then after the orifice plate we will consider the section 2.2. Okay, consider the section 2.2. So if you go for this also, the same type of formula you will get, same discharge you will get as in case of your venturi meter. So I will not go for the full uh, explanation of this, how we will get the discharge formula. Just we will see that a construction of this your orifice meter, and that is the flow. I will show with the yellow color. This flow will be like this. Okay, flow, fluid flow will be like this. Like the pipe. When there is orifice meter. Okay, so you can write on this. The orifice meter is a flow measuring device. Works on Bernoulli's principle. So these are the devices that are based on the application of Bernoulli's principle. The orifice meter is cheaper than the venturi meter and requires less length for the installation. So you can say there is no convergent or divergent pole. Only device you can say that you can adjust here only this portion. There is no such divergent or convergent poles needed. Okay? Because no such long length is required. Okay? No need of divergent or convergent pole, only you are fit into the pipe flow. That is orifice plate with a fit. And you can adjust the diameter of flow as per your requirement. Okay? An orifice meter consists of a flat circular plate with a circular hole through which water can flow is called orifice. So this small hole, it is called as orifice. It is called as orifice. Okay, so that's why it is called as orifice meter. Okay, that's why it is called as orifice meter. The rate of orifice diameter of the pipe. So here, some construction, it is given that the rate of The ratio of orifice diameter to the pipe diameter may vary from, so here it is given that the ratio of orifice diameter, here you can see the ratio of orifice diameter to the pipe diameter may vary from 0.2 to 0.8. The ratio of orifice diameter. So if you consider the diameter of orifice is D2 and diameter of pipe D1, so the ratio of D2 upon D1, okay, is nothing but 0.2 to 0.8. Okay, but the orifice diameter is kept generally 0.5 times the diameter of pipe. 0.5 times only half of the diameter of pipe. It is mostly considered. Okay, or if its diameter generally considered as the half of the diameter of your pipe. So pressure measuring devices are corrected at section 11, which is 0.9 to 1.1 times the pipe diameter upstream from the orifice plate. So this you can see this section 11 is upstream of the orifice plate. This is the orifice plate. So this is nothing but this is your orifice plate which are installed here. So section 11 is at the upstream before that plate that is called as upstream side. So the pressure measuring device are corrected at section 11, uh, which is 0.9 to 1.1 times to the pipe diameter upstream from the orifice plate, and the sections 2 to where the cross section area of flow is minimum called vena contracta, and section 2 to is where is the vena contracta, that is the cross section of flow is minimum. So where the cross section of flow is minimum uh, is called as vena contracta, and where we are taking that section number 2. Okay, so that is, yeah. In case of orifice meter, change in the cross section area is sudden, and hence, as compared to entry meter, energy losses are more. So here, what is because the changing the cross section area is sudden, because it is fitted between the pipe. Okay, so suddenly the cross section area at the exit of orifice, it is changing with the pipe diameter. So therefore, there are compared to ventilator, energy losses are more. Energy losses are more. The expression for discharge can be derived on the same way that I have discussed, that the expression we have derived yesterday, you have to derive same way like this. Okay, that is section 1 and section 2. P1 upon gamma, P1 upon gamma plus V1 square equal 2G plus Z1. Similarly, that section 2 Z P2 upon gamma plus V2 square plus by 2G plus Z2. Okay, since that is horizontal, then Z1 is equal to Z2. That term will be here, and the head uh, is nothing but H P1 minus P2. P1 minus P2 is nothing but uh, difference in the pressure, that is delta P. Okay, so H we consider P1 minus P2 upon gamma is nothing but H. Okay, so H is equal to V2 square minus V1 square upon 2G. Okay, now using the continuity equation for section 1 and 2, it means that the discharge at 1 and 2 they are same. So P1 is equal to V1 plus A2 upon V2. Okay, so you can write down in terms of V1 or V2 in the equation. So I will write down in terms of V1. V1 is nothing but A2 upon A1 into V2. You put the value and you can easily find out the value of your velocity, this V2. Okay, sorry. And you know that the discharge is nothing but A1 V1, A2 V2. So here V2 we know, A2 we know. So if you write down the formula, will be the theoretical discharge will get that is Q theoretical is A1 A2 under root of 2GH divided by under root of A1 square minus A2. So this is the theoretical discharge. The similar we will get in case of your orifice meter. So if you can write down, so here also you can see the actual discharge, the theoretical discharge if you write down for the orifice meter, for the orifice meter is also the same. So I will write on here. So Q theoretical is nothing but A1 A2 under root of 2GH divided by under root of A1 square minus A2 square. Okay. Up in term of velocity V1 ले या V2 ले, you'll get this uh, discharge equation. And actual discharge, you should add Q actual if you write down, Q actual is equal to, you have to add the coefficient of discharge, and that is A1, A2, the formula is same, just you have to add the coefficient of discharge divided by under root of A1 square minus A2 square. Or you can write down the equation in sequence as equation number 12. Here the CD is nothing but the coefficient of discharge, where your CD is nothing but is the coefficient of discharge, coefficient of discharge. But this one is in case of orifice meter. And for turbulent flow, it varies from the CD value. In case of orifice meter or turbulent, it varies from 0.592, 0.592, 0.88. The CD value varies from here. In case of venturimeter, venturimeter, here we are using the conversion and diversion for the CD value is ranging from 0.95 to 0.95 to 0.99. This we have seen. Okay, this study. So this is the nothing but the construction of orifice meter. Only we have to insert a simple orifice plate having a diameter half of the pipe diameter of the pipe, and the hole is called as orifice. That's why this measuring device is called as. And the pressure measuring devices are installed at section number 1 and section number 2. Section number 1, here it may be 0.9 to 1.1 diameter of that pressure measuring device, or at section number 2, the diameter it is varying from 0.2 to 0.8, that is d2 upon d1. If I will say that the d1 is the pipe diameter, okay, and d2 is the orifice diameter. Orifice diameter is d2. The ratio of d2 upon d1 is said to be generally half of the d1. Generally, it is taken half of the d1, but its range is also given. It may be 0.2 to 0.8, ranging the diameter of the orifice. Diameter of orifice is ranging from 0.02 to 0.08. That is the construction of your orifice meter. This is the uh, diameter of orifice. For diameter of orifice. Okay. That is D2. The ratio of D2 upon D1 is. You can find out. And generally, d2 upon d1, it is taken as half of the d1. Okay, so that is you can go for that. It depends on the construction of what it is later. Okay, now we'll see the this up to this we have seen the flow measuring devices. Now we'll see the velocity measuring devices. We'll see the velocity measuring devices. So velocity measuring devices that first nowadays we are using that rotameter is called as rotameter. You see rotameter. So rotameter is consist of a transparent tube of variable area in which a sharp circular upper edge float is inserted. So here you can see this is the rotameter. The area is varied. The area is varying. So this is you can see at the entry the area is smaller and it is increasing and it is increasing. So this is the flow direction and opposite the flow direction a float is inserted. A float is inserted and the tube is graduated properly. So it is varying circular shape, or you can say that glass shape. So this is the circular shape, but you can write down the varying circular shape. Okay, and this is your floor. This is your floor. This is the floor. And the sharp edge opposite the floor. This is called as floor. Okay, and you can say that circulars or tapered glass tube, circular or tapered glass tube, and this is nothing but called as rotameter. Called as this figure is nothing but it's called as rotameter. Rotameter. Now we'll see how it is working. Or so before that there is the graduating scale is also on that rotameter. So here the scale is there on the transparent tube. Okay. So like this there is a scale. Okay. So the scale is graduating. The scale is there on the rotameter. Okay. The yellow line is nothing but the scale. You can say is the scale. Scale. Okay. I will read down how it is working. The rotameter consists of a transparent tube of variable area in which a sharp circular upper edged float is inserted. The tube is graduated properly. The tube is graduated properly. The float has grooves on its head because of which float rotates when the fluid flow through the tube. So there is uh, uh, grooves on the head. There is grooves on the head because of which the float rotates. Because of this, the float rotates when fluid flow through the tube. Whereas when there is no flow, when there is no flow, the float rests on the bottom of the tube. The float rests on the bottom of the tube. A liquid flow through the tube. The float gets lifted to the level which directly shows a discharge. Which directly shows the discharge. So here also, this is when the flow is inserted. At the start, the float is at the bottom here. Okay, the start the float is at the bottom here at this level. I will not drawing here, at this level it is here. And when the flow is start, it will go up at the flow start, and this that reading will directly the discharge of through that rotometer. Okay. Then there is another device that is called as pitot tube. So this is the pitot tube. You can see this is the pitot tube. We'll draw the figure. This is a simple pitot tube. This is the top layer of your fluid is flowing. Okay, this is free surface. The fluid is velocity v is flowing at this level. This is section 1 or section 2 at the entry of the pitot tube. So this section 2 at the entry of pitot tube. Okay. So this is your pitot tube. This is your pitot tube. Okay. And this is the level. There is nothing but here. Here, there is H. This is the that's Y at the bottom. And this is your flow of the pipe. And this is the AIS surface. So this is nothing but your simple pitot tube. Simple pitot tube. Okay. So how it works? The simple pitot tube is used to measure the velocity of flowing fluid. So it is also this is measure the velocity of fluid flowing. So I will come back to my point that this earlier I said you these three are measuring for the discharge. These three are measuring for the discharge, and only this sorry. These three uh, venturimeter, orifice meter, and rotometer, they are measuring the discharge, and this pitot tube is measuring the velocity. Okay. Now we are seeing about the pitot tube. So how it works? You can see the simple pitot tube. Pitot tube is used to measure velocity of flowing fluid. It consists of glass tube bent in L shape. This is the pitot tube. This one is your pitot tube. This is your pitot tube, which is bent at L shape. It is bent at L shape, as shown in the figure. Its one end is immersed in the fluid facing the flow. So one end, this one end, the end immersed in the fluid. This end is immersed into the fluid. Immersed into fluid facing the flow. Facing the flow. So this end is facing the flow. Okay. From the rise of fluid in the tube, velocity can be calculated. So from this rise h, you can measure the velocity. How we can measure the velocity? We will see. Here also you are applying the Bernoulli's equation. Here also you can apply the Bernoulli's equation. At section 1 and section 2 as shown in figure above, 1 and 2 at the same level indicate that flow inside the flow, and 2 at the same level at the entry of pitot tube. So the section 1 and 2 you can see from the figure. Section 1 is the flow inside, and then the same level the entry of the flow into the pitot tube. So level at the entrance of pitot tube you can write on So P1 upon gamma plus V1 square. So here also we are applying the same, the Bernoulli's equation. Here also we are applying the Bernoulli's equation. Applying the Bernoulli's equation. Okay. So we apply, and P1 upon gamma plus V1 square pi 2G plus Z1 is equal to P2 upon gamma plus V2 square upon 2G plus Z2. Now because the pitted tube and flow we are measuring at the same level, the pressure measuring device is inserted at the same level is there. So it means that Z1 is equal to Z2. And P1 upon gamma is equal to Y. Okay? There is no tube. But at the entrance of the tube, there is some rise of the fluid due to confinement. So the P2 upon gamma is equal to Y plus H, and V1 is equal to V velocity of flow. V2 is equal to 0 since at section 2 it is a stagnant point, and it is a stagnant point. There is no velocity. If you write down the value, P1 upon gamma is equal to Y, and P2 upon gamma is nothing but Y plus H. So I am writing here, I am inserting this value. This is the P1 upon gamma. Okay, and velocity V. Okay, velocity V, we are writing it V1. This is V1. We are writing as V. Okay, so V square upon 2G, and this is nothing but your P2 upon gamma Y plus H plus velocity here, velocity V2 is 0. There is no velocity at the entry of your fluid. Fluid is stagnant. So that's why, to write down this, we will get that this y will be cancelled. V square upon 2G is equal to H. So you can write down that V square is equal to 2GH. Therefore, velocity is equal to, you can write down and find out 2GH under root of 2GH is nothing but the velocity. So this is the theoretical velocity. This is the theoretical velocity. Okay, and if you find out the actual velocity is nothing but CV into under root of 2GH, and where CV is the coefficient of velocity, and CV is the nothing but your coefficient of velocity. So by this pitot tube, you can measure the velocity of the fluid flow. From this pitot tube, you can measure the velocity of the fluid flow. Okay. So till now we have seen how many flow measuring devices. So we have seen the 4 type of flow measuring devices. That is, yesterday we have seen the venturimeter, okay, and today we have seen it measures venturimeter measure the discharge. Orifice meter we seen today is also measuring the discharge, and pitot tube also we have seen today, that is measuring the velocity. That is measuring the velocity of flow, and photometer we also directly give the discharge of the fluid. So these are the different flow measuring devices you have seen, and based on that you can solve the examples. So there are certain hints to solving the example we will see today, and then we solve the example tomorrow. The hint for solving the problem based on the venturimeter, orifice meter, nozzle meter. Okay, the pressure gauges are used at section 1 and 2. है ना, प्रेशर हम मालूम कर रहे हैं सेक्शन 1 पे और 2, है ना. वेलोसिटी हमको मालूम नहीं है, तो हमको मालूम करना है. और जो due to horizontal, the horizontal is equal to Z1 is equal to Z1 is equal to Z2. तो ये भी same level अगर है तो no need of this term. Okay. So here you can put the value of P1 and P2. You can per meter square and you can find out the velocity by using the continuity equation and this Bernoulli's application. So continuity equation, you know, continuity equation of flow is nothing but Q1 is equal to Q2, or you can write down A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Okay, based on that you can easily find out the velocity. If you are going for the simple manometer are used as section 1 and 2, then P1 upon gamma plus V2 square upon 2G plus Z2, the same Bernoulli's theorem you can go for that. And P2 upon gamma is H2, P1 upon gamma is H1. Okay, so their unit is in meter. Their unit is in meter. So this one P1 upon gamma is H1 and P2 upon gamma is H2. Okay, so this equation from this equation you can find out, and the manometric reading of the manometric fluid and fluid flowing is same. Okay, but if it is different, the fluid in the manometer and the fluid flowing are different, then you have to write down this P1 upon gamma is equal to H1, and it is nothing but P1 upon gamma is nothing but H1, and H1 is nothing but X1 into Sm. This is specific gravity of the manometric liquid. So is the specific gravity of the your flowing liquid minus 1. Okay, so likewise you can find out the H1. Similarly, you can find out the H2 also is nothing but X2 Sm upon S0 or SO minus 1. Okay, so Sm, you know, the specific gravity of the this manometric liquid, and where X1 and X2 are the manometric readings at section 1 and 2, and X1 and X2 are the reading at this, and you can convert, you can find out. Sm is the specific gravity of the manometric fluid, and SO is the specific gravity of the flowing fluid. Simple manometer and pressure gauge both are used if there is two types of measuring devices. They are using the simple manometer and the pressure gauge. So if you are using for it at section 1 the manometric, then you have to go for this P1 upon gamma is equal to H1. If the fluid if same fluid is used, if there is different fluids, flow and manometric fluid are different, then you have to use this as above we are used. And P2 you can easily find out directly from the pressure gauge. If you are using at point 2 the pressure gauge, you can directly find out that reading from the pressure gauge. If differential manometer is there, so you can use this formula H is equal to P1 gamma plus Z minus P2 gamma plus Z is equal to V2 square by 2G minus V1 square by 2G. Here also H is nothing but X into Sm minus 1 if different fluid is used. If same fluid is used, then you can use that formula. If different fluid is used, yeah, then you have to find out the value of H at, uh, at section 1 and section 2. So in Bernoulli's equation, all terms shall be expressed in terms of fluid column, in terms of fluid flow columns. So that is nothing but our Bernoulli's equation, and based on that we can find out the discharge of the fluid and velocity of the fluid. So from this fluid measuring devices, you can find out discharge and velocity of the flow. So these are nothing but the application of Bernoulli's equation to measure the flow rate and to measure the velocity. So thank you for joining. If you have any doubt, you can ask with me, or otherwise we'll stop here. And tomorrow, inshallah, we'll try to solve one or two example based on our today's lecture. Okay? Shall we stop here? You don't have any doubt?